Be the lion a wisdom story about purpose, effort, and divine signs. In a quiet valley surrounded by dry hills and scattered trees lived a man named Rahim. He was not cruel, nor was he unkind, but he was tired. Tired of trying, tired of failing, and tired of believing that effort ever truly paid off. Life, to him, felt like a heavy burden carried on weak shoulders. Rahim spent his days sitting outside his small mud house, watching others walk past him, farmers leaving early with tools in hand, merchants guiding their donkeys toward the market, children running with laughter. He no longer remembered how to feel. He often told himself, "If God has written success for me, it will come without struggle." And so he waited. One afternoon, while wandering near the edge of the valley, Rahim noticed something unusual. Hidden among the tall grass was a crippled wolf. One of its legs was badly injured, making it impossible for the animal to hunt. Rahim watched from a distance, curious and confused. How does it survive? He wondered. As the sun began to set, the answer appeared. A powerful lion emerged from behind the rocks, carrying a freshly hunted deer in its jaws. The lion ate until it was full, then left behind scraps of meat. Moments later, the crippled wolf dragged itself forward and fed on what remained. Rahim's eyes widened, his heart raced. Subhanallah, he whispered, God truly provides. He returned home that evening feeling lighter than he had in years. That night he made a decision. If God feeds a crippled wolf without effort, he thought, then surely he will provide for me too. From the next day on, Rahim stopped doing even the small work he once did. He stopped helping in the fields. He stopped searching for opportunities. He sat outside his house from morning until night, waiting for food, waiting for help, waiting for a miracle. Days passed. Then weeks. His savings disappeared. Hunger visited his home. His clothes grew worn, his face thinner. Yet Rahim remained stubborn. God is testing my patience, he said to himself. Provision will come. One evening, weak from hunger, Rahim heard that a wise sage had arrived in the valley. The old man was known for his deep understanding of life and faith. Desperate for reassurance, Rahim went to see him. The sage sat beneath an old tree, his eyes calm, his presence peaceful. Rahim told him everything, the wolf, the lion, and the lesson he believed God had shown him. The sage listened quietly, then smiled gently. My son, he said, you saw the sign, but you misunderstood the message. Rahim frowned. How, master? Did God not feed the wolf without effort? Yes, the sage replied. But tell me, who did God use to feed the wolf? Rahim hesitated. The lion. The sage nodded. Exactly. God did not create the wolf to be admired. He created the lion to act. Rahim lowered his gaze. You see, the sage continued, many people pray to live like the wolf, waiting, depending, expecting, but very few pray to live like the lion, strong enough to work, hunt, and provide. God's plan was not to teach you laziness, it was to teach you responsibility. The sage leaned forward. In this world, God provides through action. He gives strength, skill, opportunity, and time. Then he watches to see what you do with them. Rahim felt tears rise in his eyes. Do you think? The sage asked softly, that the lion waits for food to fall from the sky? No, he moves, he struggles, he works, and through his effort, others survive too. Rahim understood now. That night, he returned home with a different heart. The next morning, Rahim rose before sunrise. He offered prayer, then picked up tools he had not touched in months. He went to the fields and asked for work. The pay was small, the labor hard, but it was honest. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Rahim grew stronger, not just in body but in spirit. As his life stabilized, he began helping others. He shared food with the hungry. He taught younger men what he had learned. He became someone others could depend on. Years later, Rahim often walked near the same valley. One day, he saw a young man sitting idly, waiting for life to change. Rahim sat beside him and told him a story, not about a wolf, but about a lion. And this time the message was clear. Moral of the story: don't wait for miracles. Become the miracle for others. God's plan often begins with effort. Be the lion, not the wolf. Because faith is not just about believing, it's about becoming.